Jeremy Florea, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
As we always start with a podcast, I'd love it if you could tell us a little bit about Stafford Technology.
Sure. Stafford Technology, we're a local Central Ohio boutique technology recruiting and staffing firm. And at the end of the day, we find really talented IT professionals to partner them up with customers of ours that have challenges, whether it's in full-time project to hire roles. They've got IT projects ahead of them or tasks, challenges. We help them find great talent. Either we employ them and put them on site at our client, and it could go for a couple weeks, couple months, couple years, or we also help them onboard really full-time great talent. So we help companies find great people.
Great, I love that. And you also have expanded that to feature now creative
I know.
as well. I mean, I could share how I know that, but
Right.
have you tell a little bit more about talk a little bit more about that. Just in
Yeah.
why is such a creative such a great ad for you?
Yeah, no, that's great. So for those, I guess, watching, I was fortunate to partner with Catherine, who's hosting the program here, and her partner, Kristen, who we've been friends for a long, long time. Our client base, there's a blend of this, is very similar. So when we say creative, Portfolio Creative is an organization that we acquired and merged in. So the customer base could be, in a lot of cases, crossover companies here in Central Ohio, where you guys have for almost 20 years partnered with, again, great leaders in the marketing, design, communication, user experience, user interface, account management, project management within the marketing and creative space. You just have done the same thing we have, which is providing great talent. One thing that has existed, and I've been in the recruiting and staffing industry for almost 25 years. There was a day that I had hair. For sure, I was younger. So I say that with a sincere smile as to how many years. It's been such a wonderful journey, but a gap in the IT space, in the creative space, there is a lot of crossover in this digital transformation.
And we've just seen that get closer and closer throughout the
Yeah,
years. Now, I'm sure people are very familiar with, the advancements of AI and things like that. And
yeah,
that's kind of where we decided that, maybe we should be working more together
yeah,
because this is not going to change. It's only going to get bigger.
right. No, for sure. So I don't know if further maybe to say where it made sense is we did believe we could make just an overall better solution for our clients. That crossover area, that there was always kind of a gray gap area, and we partnered up at times to say, hey, we don't do this. You need to talk to our creative friends there at Portfolio and vice versa. So that definitely
Exactly.
motivated the change, and fortunate to know you guys as long as we have, and that very very grateful that we were able to work out a partnership to do it.
Yeah, and honestly, we could probably have a whole entire podcast about, how to find the right company to partner with too,
Yeah,
if it comes to acquisition or sale or things like
sure,
that, because
sure.
we neither of us ended any of us. I should also kind of include Kristen in that conversation too. Um, Took that lightly. We really wanted, people that had the same culture fit as us, and I think bottom line, that's what it really is. We felt we had people. It's always about the customer and about the talent and things like that. And you guys had the exact same
Hmm.
sort of feel of, and you just kind of you talked about at the very beginning where you're like, we're just going to find you great people,
Yep,
and
we're gonna find you great
and
people.
that it's as simple as that. We don't have to make it any more complicated.
Yeah,
So
well
very very
said.
cool. And how
Yeah.
did you mention how long you've been doing this?
So
Like
I started
years
Stafford
wise?
Technology February of 2012.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so a while.
12
You're
years, and I'd been in the industry since March of 2000. Yeah, so
yeah. So definitely we can put you in expert category for
yeah,
sure.
expert for sure, for sure.
Okay, so one of my favorite things to talk about is people's journeys to where they got here. So, before we go too far back, how did you get into staffing? Let's talk about that a little
Mhm.
bit because it's so funny too because even when people would ask me this question, it's not really something that you go to school for or you're
Right,
a kid and you're thinking like I'm gonna own a staffing company. So,
right.
what was it that led you to where you are today?
It's a great question. So I would go back, and this is probably late '99. I had been out of college for a few years and was in a software sales and solution sales yeah, for that industry for a few years. I was traveling 4 or 5 days a week, and in the beginning that was very exciting. But when you're not home, but only long enough to do your laundry,
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to have much of a life regardless of how well business is or isn't going. So as I look to navigate a change, and I went to a school at Miami University, I spent I was 2 classes short of a minor within MIS, and took software development classes, database classes, and enjoyed that. And for anybody that knows me, sitting behind a desk and just like working on code, my personality doesn't fit that. I talk a lot. I get energy from engaging with people.
Mm-hmm.
So a balance of the development made sense. I enjoyed the classes, and I had gotten referred over to an organization that was a staffing firm for technology, and it just clicked. Like I had my
Mm-hmm.
business to business client engagement in an area of something I reasonably understood. Not that I didn't know staffing, but I understood what the clients were asking the software developers to do. So applied for a role and got an opportunity to join, and that's how it kicked off.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
But like I kind of said before, this isn't something that you're, on your riding your bike around the neighborhood as a 5-year-old thinking like you're going to own a staffing company.
Right.
So, what is it that you did when you were a kid that just before there was responsibility, before you had people problems? What did you do as a kid that was just really, really fun?
You know, so if I go back, my favorite memories growing up, and it wasn't only in the summer, but if I highlighted the summer between the ages of probably 10 and 14,
Hmm.
of my parents went to work, my brother and I and sister we're still at home, and
Hmm.
we were safe. And early younger, we had babysitters, but at that point, it was kind of like we're on our own.
Yeah.
And I had a group of friends, and we would get together most days. And I don't know if it's like Stand By Me, the movie, but we literally, and I grew up in London, Ohio, so a small town, but we literally went fishing every day. We
Hmm.
walked creeks every single day. We would build forts or do something that was outside nonstop. So you know what I would highlight of what I love about I'll say staffing, or the people interaction in the business that we're in. You don't know who you're going to interact with, and I know I do get energy of like helping and interacting. I would tie that into fishing. Like
Uh-huh.
there's the excitement of the unknown, and you might say, "Oh, I know I'm going to catch a fish," but you don't know a lot of the process that is exactly going to happen. You don't know if you're going to catch a fish, or how it's going to work, or what kind
Hmm.
of fish. So I don't know. I just loved the unknown. So for fishing, and some days were awesome, and others. So I don't know. There's kind of that excitement of whether that's Christmas morning of the unknown. I'd rather
Yeah, yeah,
have a
yeah.
surprise in that manner than to know I was going to go and catch 7 fish of a certain size. So I always tie that into why I enjoy servicing others, and whether it being in sales or support. But I know you're asking the question of what I enjoy. I loved the running around with no curfew, running through neighborhoods, backyard. Like I literally could backtrace
No, no rules.
no
We're all a little
rules, right?
feral.
Just be home at this time, and we really didn't get in trouble, and
Yeah,
nobody.
just had adventures every
We
day.
did. We really did.
I love that you had the fish analogy in a way because as you're talking about that, I was immediately thinking about, oh my God, that is exactly what gives a lot of business owners strength is just today I'm going out, I might catch something.
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep throwing the reel out and throwing the line out and seeing, if something's gonna happen today. And then when it does, it's like, the best day ever. But
Hmm.
if it doesn't, then you're like, all right, well, we'll just try again tomorrow.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's
Right.
just
Yeah.
that's I mean it's people who have that kind of patience that, and understanding of that, I think that probably do the best in owning a business or doing anything on their own for that regard.
Yeah. You have to adapt often. I do. So I fish. I'm an avid fisherman now. You have to adapt. You have to change your techniques. You have to be open to doing different things. And some days don't go as planned, and others are so memorable that you can't wait to get back to do it again.
And do it again. That's right.
Yeah.
And try and copy that moment. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
really, really interesting that you brought up that because, like I said, I never thought of it in that way, but it's exactly like that. And sometimes you change the bugs around, and
Right.
sometimes you try. Maybe I got to put more of my wrist into it or something.
Yes.
But what I truly like about that is this constant problem solving state you have to be in.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like to tell people that I work with sometimes is that that that's sometimes how it is. You
Hmm.
know, um, you're problem solving every day. And if you don't and really enjoy problem solving, you probably shouldn't own a business
Yeah.
because that's a bit of the challenge. And
Yep.
sometimes you get surprised in a good way.
Yes.
Sometimes not so much. But
I want to add this as it relates to teams, but thinking about whether it's 2 weeks from now, or if it was 6 months ago, or if it was, I'm in my late 40s here, whether it was, 35 to 40 years ago. If I say fishing or doing anything together, you get to celebrate. It's fun to do it together, and like we're in it together. So there's that excitement of, if you're out by yourself and everything is wonderful. I will say for me, it's not as much fun to not be able to share it or share in
yeah,
someone else's
yes.
challenges slash successes as they're able to accomplish them. And whether it's, and I go with fishing, some of my best friends, we still sit around and do you remember back in 2011? Or do you remember, my friend caught a 6 pound bass out of this small pond. I was, let's see when this was going to be. This was in 92. Uh, just crazy to me how big this fish was. And I can still picture myself there. And my friend Chad and I will get together. He'll know, right, if he would hear this, or if I would share the story, he would know exactly. Like, we both lost our minds, and we're, I don't know, 17-year-old kids at the time. You would have thought we each won $1 trillion based on the size of this fish, and that's some of the most exciting things. But when you get to do it together and share it together and have stories to go with it,
Yes.
the camaraderie built.
I love that. It'd be far less satisfying if this fish was caught and there's nobody
Well,
else
right.
around
If nobody
to see
sees it,
you
and I
know?
take a picture, and then I'm telling the story, and it's not either way. If somebody's telling me a story, I'm excited, but it's not the same as if you're there together doing it together.
Very, very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. All right. So with that, I would love to start talking about what you do now that is not work related, that is still a bit creative, that still kind of sparks that right side of your brain. Um, so if you could, what do you do now that, doesn't have as much responsibility?
Boy, so it was in 2011. One of my best friends introduced fly fishing to me. And
Mm-hmm.
so we go steelhead fishing a couple times a year up in northeastern Ohio. We'll also do some local stream for brown trout or rainbow trout. If I just were to say fly fishing and not got specific on fish,
It's totally
we
fine.
try to get out 4 or 5 times a year. But that's some of the best. Your connection to nature, the ability to just with the water flowing, and it doesn't matter if it's 25 degrees outside or 55 or 65 degrees. There's just something about being at peace.
Just
That would be
standing in a
one thing.
river and
Oh
yeah,
my
it's just
gosh,
like all around you.
yes,
I've heard
yep,
that before, and I thought that that actually would sound that would actually make fishing interesting for me.
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's like, I just get to stand in a river? Awesome! That would be so great.
It really is, and it is. I would encourage anybody, whether you, and I would say in the beginning, go with a guide because they'll provide you all the gear.
Oh, that's a
It,
great idea.
yes, go with a guide, and it is worth the money. Then you most likely will catch, the fish that you're going after because they know exactly what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing and where to put you in the
Got
spot.
a satisfied customer.
Yeah, they do, but it is yeah, that's one of the things that I'm fortunate to get to do. Additional things, I do play a lot of golf, and while that can be, I've over the years, my not that I don't think that I should. I say this all the time. I always feel when I finish playing golf that I should have scored 4 or 5 shots better than I did. But I
Uh-huh.
will say that over the last probably 10 or 15 years, with all the other things in life going on, whether I do or don't score the best score, boy, it's rare for me to get even frustrated, let alone upset. I appreciate the opportunity to be outside
Oh, yeah.
again with nature, uh, camaraderie with friends, and I will add within golf. And I've got my good friends would tell you this. I'm one of the best golf ball finders. So if I'm walking kind of on the side, and it's like fishing, you don't know what's there, but I know there's value.
And you cut me off with that. But
I'm
yeah, so I
sorry.
was
Yeah,
gonna say, so
yeah.
is it like land fishing or is it wet golf?
Right. There are
Which
some
way
similarities.
it goes.
Yeah, there's some similarities. I do think that your soul can absolutely be healed spending some time in nature, whether
Yes,
that's getting
I
out of your
100%
office
believe
for
that
10
too.
minutes, 5 minutes, just rubbing it sounds silly, rubbing your hand on the grass, or being
Yes,
somewhere
yes.
where you can see
Yep.
nature. But yeah, golf is very enjoyable.
I 100% believe that nature has a lot of the answers that we're
Yeah.
looking for. So when
Right.
you get stuck, just go, like I said, stand in a river, go out in the woods, go to a lovely park if you can't be on the golf course.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot to be said about, golf being a choice for people as far as their sport that they, can kind of go off and do because it is that connection to nature. And, and sometimes, for guys, it's a little more challenging to figure out what that connection is that gets them out of work, gets them into just a free space. And it's like these quiet sports that really kind of do it. And like you said, very much camaraderie and all that sort of stuff too.
And I would say that I've gotten better over the years, minus music playing, and a lot of times we'll have that little speaker, but the phone's off. I'm not checking email. I'm not checking texts.
And it's awesome.
I'm not going. If there's an emergency, I guess I'm sure somebody would, a phone call would come through and I would take it. But so I'm not completely shut off. But I'm not scrolling my phone. I'm literally enjoying just being outside, enjoying the company that I'm in, and it's nice. You get refreshed.
And when you get those moments like that, how do you feel that makes you more effective when you come back to the office?
I think my simple response to that is I'm happier. I think folks in life, I do love what I do. I love the opportunity to be in the staffing capacity and influence and supporting other people. But people who are happy perform their job better. Anytime that you can, remove some stress in your life or help just decompress a little bit. I can only speak for me, I guess. I know my conversations, they're just better. They're just different. I don't have 30 things going on. I've recentered. So maybe it helps in my communication. You get to do a lot of thinking overall. So there's processing and level setting. And so I don't know. It's like I've got a clean chalkboard when I come back. It's not like I got 48 things there.
I will say is had the opportunity to get to know you better. I'm going to add that I think that you're a fairly decent storyteller too, because you speak in a way when you're trying to share with the team or share experiences. You have a way of kind of making it so people feel like they're there. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but like I said, just from having met you and getting to know you, that's one thing that I see is really apparent.
I know that I am I would say a visual learner, and I will paint the colors in the picture, but it's hard for me not to, I want you to see what I was seeing and experiencing.
Right.
So I don't know that I'm aware that it happens, but I guess it's nice to hear that hopefully, that folks want to be included or to see it, because I think that's how I would want to see it and consume it. But it's hard for me to not communicate without including the details. I'm not one to say, here are the 3 bullets. As
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you 3 things about each bullet as we go.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. And I think all of that has helped you become a stronger business person, just knowing that balance and just really appreciating why you need that too, I think
Yeah.
is very, very important. And I think that's about all we need to cover. This was really great. Like I said, I think, you really, well, one of the reasons, there's a couple of reasons why I wanted you on here is that first of all, I think a lot of people, or I know a lot of people think you're a great person, and I'm hoping this podcast will allow other people to see that too, because I think that, when people are doing great things and are good people, they need to be known. That's not just
Thank
not
you.
just the bad people. We got to know
Yeah.
the good ones too.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
I definitely did want to do that, but also because your path is not what people might typically think also is a creative one, and I wanted to have you on just so people really do understand, this is everybody can be creative, and it's not
Yeah.
just drawing pictures.
Yeah.
And how it really kind of helps when it goes back to, like I said, going back to the office, back to leading a team, back to being the visionary, back to all that sort of stuff, that it is very key. And as I said before, you've illustrated that perfectly, so I
Well, thank you
appreciate
very
that.
much. Thank you for the time. This has been great.
Okay, wonderful. And I will have all the information about Stafford in the notes. And
All
if
right.
you need a person, either anything from IT down to creative, that production person, Jeremy's the person to call. So
Let us know.
thank
We're
you.
happy to help you. We'd love to work with you.
Great. Thanks for being on here.
All right. Thank you.